Oh my god. What did we just watch? Whoa. Whoa. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at a lay music video entitled Tian. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and I have a feeling that this is going to be very similar to Lit. Now, you may be wondering, Jess, I didn't know you looked at Lit already. Oh, I have. It's on Patreon right now because I did a huge EXO marathon because Lay was a member of the group for a long time, and so that included all of his solo work. So I'm caught up with him, and I've also seen him on Street Dance China as well, which has been super fun. I am so excited for this. I think out of all the music videos I watched last year, that one was my favorite. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's about to go down. I hope you're ready. I don't think I am. Let's go.
Black and yellow skin, oriental king. People always win when my music playing. Get trying out the宇宙 I got it started, you know. 平时难分对手，一直想到最后。You are masterpieces, the world is to the best. Doesn't matter language, there's no limit. I'm the best. You are masterpieces, the world is to the best. Doesn't matter language, there's no limit.
Oh my god. What did we just watch? Whoa. Whoa. Huang Xiao. Huang Xiao. We know Huang Xiao from STC. Are we gonna get a dance practice? I think so, which makes me excited, for sure. Now, I guess the question would be, Jess, which one's your preference? Oh, Lit, 1000%. That one felt like a freaking movie. Like, it's this one for sure. It's, oh boy, this is freaking sick. Yeah, so we're gonna just let it lie and just exist in it for a little bit, and then we're gonna we're gonna look at the dance practice whenever it comes out, and we're gonna appreciate it, and then it'll probably go live on YouTube. Will I learn it? I don't know. I'll have to do dance practice. I don't have really cool graphics to look as cool as them, so I'll just have to wait. But oh my god, this is so cool. We got the dance practice pulled up. I am so excited for this. You guys have no idea. Let's go. It's concept shot. Ooh. I like the flow of this a lot. Yep. Alright, what's this chorus look like? Come on now. I love me a good 4 hat ISOs. Yep. Okay. Double it up, okay. With a speed change hinge melt, okay. Love the arms on that. That was cool. This choreo just looks like we're just melting in this space. Nice. Cool. Oh, I'm here for this. With the LED sticks, too. Wow. Nice. With the LEDs at the top, too, is cool. What if he didn't catch that? That would have been a little, underwhelming, but... we love it. Okay, cool. O-Dog, Hello Dance, R&B Crew. I'm very familiar with Hello Dance, and I'm familiar with O-Dog, even though I don't review their stuff as much on the YouTube side. It is just because of personal affiliations, and just seeing their work's always been really fun. Also, I do believe there's a chance, I think they shot it at O-Dog space, because I recognize, like, the LED in the back, but I could be so wrong once again. Alright, let's talk about it. It's definitely on the simpler side in comparison to some of Lay's other stuff, right? So you have Lit. I think people are correlating this one to Lit. This one is not in the crump representative sector like Lit was representing, which was cool. I like this one because it's focusing more on the percussion and a lot of these melts. It definitely feels super, what's the word? I don't know. I can't think through like the best way to word it, which kind of makes it fun. There's a mystery and the beauty of what they decided to go. I think there's a lot of symbolism in his imagery. We're going to naturally assume that. Do I know what it is? There's a good chance somebody will tell me. So I appreciate that. But you can very clearly see that we do have a direction in that avenue in the beginning. And they're very intentional on where everybody goes. Is this the cleanest routine? No. Is it supposed to be? I don't think it matters, if I'm being honest, because I think at the end of the day, I mean, you have your camera that's really panning over. We don't have a fixed cam perspective. The only way you would really clock whether or not it's clean is in a fixed cam lens. The only way to really check that. So, but I mean, that's at the end of the day, if every visual we have is moving, it doesn't really matter. Now look, just from the top, he just has subtlety of his head moving. Everybody else is nice and frozen. It does remind me of Flying Apsarsis, that one right there, with the dragon one. They only have a dance practice, that, you know, that one. This one does feel like it's a continuation of that. I would associate this more with that than with lit, but I understand if we had a music video visual, maybe we would have more of a correlation. But dance practices, I think this one feels more like Flying Apsarsis. But I really like how we have the intention of our fingers all the way spread over on the top of the head. I like her positioning. It doesn't look like many people are also doing it. Looks like it's flat, but she has hers curled around the back. I really like that. So that would just be, you know, if we were clarifying what their head was or what your hand was doing, I would have opted for her. But I really like that he's still going. It looked like he was like drying tears, and there's breath. And everybody took their head, they peeled it up, and then they reached and kept that arm isolated, let their head be still. And then you have this pulse, and he's doing both arms, and everyone's doing just one arm to help cater to the respective side that they're on. I love that. And then on that fourth one, it looks like they go and they connect each other all the way to create this really long line. Super fun. So it was curled around, kind of like wings whenever you see like a bird hide and then you see them spread the wings. It kind of gave that impression. Really cool. And I love that you hear that in the back. There's always something like a lull of a sound happening in the back environmentally, which is really cool. And I like that we're recognizing it either through content or through just presence and breaths themselves. It's really fun because it allows us as an audience to feel it as well. We have these arms pop up off the top. We go to the inside. I love how we hold the arm out and then we present it forward. And then we present our hand back up, which is nice. I love this little extra energy going on with the wrist, this pulse once again. And I like how we let their fingers be that priority. Not everybody has their nails done, but you see some of them who do. Eat, Miss Ma'am. Yep, so we go out and they bring it back in. We still have this position of this hand at the top. Does that have imagery? Always a chance it does, so we're never going to discredit that. And that could just be something that I have the beauty of discovering later on. So from here, I love how he just does a simple pan out and everybody disperses. Really fun. He takes his arms out and then we end up rotating them around. Really nice. And then we end up doing a little opening here from back to front. And it does look like we have our hands. We're tailoring them, angling them to the outside. Very nice. And we have the little and the music. You hear that register through the fingers. Really nice. And then right here we end up having a speed change going on. We have, it looks like our outside groups dropped lower and then our inside group has stayed up. And that's part 1, 2, 3, 4 speed change, but everyone's supposed to have their arms rotate. Forearms being more so the focus on that range choice, more so than elbows or our hands. So that's really nice. And I like that we have our torso working in opposition to make those arms look like they're going further than they are. Really cool. Then I like how we go out, and then we end up tapping the shoulder to help cause just a little bit of modification to that previous flow so it doesn't feel like we're just being redundant and repeating the same thing. So I like the subtleties of that. Grab the head, and I like how we take our hand, and our hand is up on that head. We have a lot of this grabbing going on our head to help guide where our head needs to go. We lift up that arm, which looks really nice, and then we pick it up, and then we take that leg and we extend it to the outside, which looks really nice, and we hit boom and boom, and then we take this hand and we pull it to help make it its own moment, and we go and do a nice outside, like looks like a bow and arrow. You've seen that kind of motion. Boom, nice energy as we create this contrast right there. Looks super nice. Then he ends up, it does feel like this rotation again, it feels like we've now added in everybody, but we're now doing a different sequence after this forearm rotation. Then we bring the arms up. Notice our hands aren't blades. They're not overly curled, but they're that in-between rested, stylized hand. And then we pick up the foot, and then we do a little body roll coming out of it. And I like the head that resets, and he ends up taking his hand right here to his fist and placing it down. Could that be a microphone? I don't know. Haven't really seen Lay like dance or sing with a mic, but it could just be my lack of live performance experience with him. I would assume he would prefer to have it right here, like the in-ear with the Britney Spears mic's what I would call that, just so he can move more freely because he's such a mover, right? And so, which side note, shout out to him for the fact that we have so much flow here. that is really, really nice and very pleasant in how we're presenting and we're creating our range, because it's not in the category I would equate to crump at all. So this is really nice, shows his versatility quite well. I like it. It's a vibe. So I like how we have that moment, and then we take our arm, we bring it up, and then we throw it down. There's more speed change here. We're building up our energy, but we're going from low to high in comparison to just staying up with our level in doing content. We're dropping low to come up. So there's a level change to help with the build that we're hearing in the pre-chorus, even if we're keeping the speed change dynamic present, which is what we're seeing here. The reaches are nice. I like we go up and then we bring it right back, clocking. I think we're going to the base of the neck, right by the shoulders is what it looks like. Some are tapping head, but we're just, majority are looking, touching neck. So we're going to go there. So I like this, baby. I'm the best. Yep. And from here, it looks like we have an inside group, have their arm, and they're ending up creating this interruption. Could we go strobing? Possibly. We can always entertain ticking of some kind, but we just go interruption just as a little blanket term for that. And then I like how we have this opposition of our dancers from the outside. They're coming up, right? Really cool. Well, now hold on. Yeah, so you have your inside group, they're going inside to outside, and then the outside groups are going outside to inside, meaning that they're going from the outside space to closer to lay. Lay's considered the inside, right? So that's cool. And I like the arms swing around, and then they bring it up. I really like, once again, we're connecting onto that head, and we have my other dancers, they take their arm, they folded it down, and then they present it back up. And from there, we get to see a little bit of his crump posture come out, things that we're very familiarized ourselves with if you've been around with Lay as a soloist or just as a mover. That's definitely something we've seen him entertain as his go-to, which is really nice. The reach out is fun. You have the LEDs in the back assisting to hit that sound, so we don't necessarily have to hit it in movement because we have something else supplementing for the sound. So we still feel saturated in it even if the choreography is not showing it. So that's interesting. We drop down, so it looks like we just did a ripple going from front to back. Now, it does make me curious on turnaround time for this because I know Huang Xiao, I'm very familiar with him because of his time on Street Dance China. I love his work, just like Ma Xiaolong. Those are my probably top 2 out of top 3 preferences of movers in the choreography realm in China, but they are the most televised from what I've been exposed to, so there's probably so many more that I am so delighted to look forward to uncovering, but at the moment, those are my preferences. And his movement, there's so many subtleties in how he storytells is so captivating. So it makes me very intrigued on what are some facets of this choreo and composition that I am missing because of my lack of cultural understanding of what I'm watching. That could be a very big component, which is why I always really enjoy the dialogue and discussions or the comments that you guys put on here, especially if it pertains to the cultural significance of some of the choices, as well as the instrument, things of the like. So that's really cool. Anyway, so he brings it up, then we have our arms up, and then we bring our arms right here, right there at the base of the chest with our elbows up, and then we have our, it looks like more of a hip accent on this, then we do a little point, so it's the same hips, even though our arms are different, our look is different where we're looking, and it goes da 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 da, and I like this part. For me, I could watch 4 head ISOs all day. I love it. So 3, 4, and he does this little control, looks like a Millie Rock, it's fun. Then we have some subtlety, nice little snake, and we clap, boom, and then we bring it up. Is he going, tss? There was a sound, it kind of gave that impression of a snake, let's see. I don't know if it was at the end of the phrase or what, but this right here is similar to whenever you see snaking done in waving or in the boogalooing umbrella of things where you see him popping. And so it's nice where you have that going in and then he folds it and he unfolds it. It kind of gives like, here's a snake head and then we're unraveling it. I don't know. It's cool. I like it. And we end up switching it up. I like that. And then we end up rotating those arms around to drop lower. And then we build it up. So I like how we do a hinge over to allow that opportunity to raise the energy back up. It's really nice. And then we end up going cross, uncross. Looks very nice there. And then we go brush, brush. So I like this little trace on the sides. It's fun. Rotate it through. Also looks very nice. And then he's grabbing with just one arm. I think it could just be a natural, you know, if he has a handheld mic, that could be a reason. He has it here, and he has one arm available for that. In other cases, everybody's using both. I think that's just a preference choice from Lay on that. That's life. That's fine. And they end up rotating and rotating around, which is also really nice. And then they end up doing a entrance wave, so they go from the fingers up into the chest. So that's really nice to see there. Yeah, and they use that to reset. So it's fun. I am intrigued on where the energy ended up going after doing this to the chest. So even looking at his hands, I really like the intention of the direction of the fingers. Even all of this is showing some subtlety and waving. It's really nice. I love that. And even letting the legs support that in the weight shifts is very interesting. Then everybody has now dropped low, except for these outliers in the back. You have these outside dancers. They're staying up. So if anything, making Lei not be super isolated and still cohesive with the group, but he's still doing a sense of control. And it also gives the impression that the ladies are kind of individuals being controlled by Lei in his favor. Does that make sense? Like the other dancers are in opposition that he's controlling, and then you have the other ladies there that are there as like complementary. I don't know. It's that's the thing. If anything, it just shows how the importance of what's the word? Like knowing the culture behind what you're watching can be very insightful to a lot of composition, especially when you know like who the choreographers are. That's what makes it really fascinating. And that's the beauty of I know what I don't know, right? And so it's really cool. If anything, there's a sense of mystery behind some of our choices, which is really fun. I like the marches on that, which is fun. So they go in and out, which is also very nice in unison here, and they go pop. And then they make it a nice little motion. Now, they aren't doing popping, right? They're talking about pop, the genre of music, not the style. So I know some people may think that we're doing and acting on multiple word plays. For this case, I wouldn't equate that to that at all. The switch up is fine. We go down, and then we speed change again with a hinge. And then we're melting. He hinges around, guys. I love watching stuff like that. I could watch that all day. Then we end up doing a little, I think, wrist rotation. Where we go, like, let me see. We rotate it to the inside. I think we roll, and then we reverse it, is what I'm noticing from my guy over here on that stage right side. I love how he's connecting to us as an audience in the video. We drop down, we do a little snake, little melt, and we toss everybody down, which is cool. I like how we're shifting our weight from one side to the other. Really fun. All doing subtly our own thing, staying within a range point, meaning that I can move how I want, but I can't move too loud or too soft, meaning can't make my movement look bigger than the person next to me, but I can go a different direction. So that's really fun. Then you see some people pop up. They go to the inside, so I like how we take the arms, we melt it up and down, and then we end up doing the same hinge back like what we were seeing earlier before he hinged around to begin his second verse. Now he's been lifted. Really nice, clean execution on the lift. He'll be able to sing no problem. This is a simpler lift than people realize. It does look very fun and captivating. He looks like a fun starfish, right? But could there always be some meaning behind it? Always. But they even have him supported up into his head. So if anything, he could chill up there all day, having these guys there, no problem. This is the most supported lift. Like, they really could pull this off with 3 people. So that's very impressive. And then they drop him down. So much control there. There is not a moment in my mind I'm thinking they're going to drop him because of just the amount of people and for the type of lift it is. It's fun, captivating, but also very supported. Dropping it down. I love how it goes down low high. They walk away to reset. Boom, boom. I really like that. Stylized. I'm going to call that a stylized jab. Because of our background we know of Lei, it feels like we can hit that in some way. Yep. Read it down. I love this little melt. It's really fun. To the west, and I like how we march from one side to the other. So you have north, east, south, west, and so I mean my camera's mirrored, by the way, so it's if you try to mirror it, that's why it may look a little off. But how they're marching, where you have him from the back, we're panning away from him to go to the south, right? And then you have the east and the west, and you see them moving. So I actually really like that transition choice. That was really cool. Subtle head, 1, 2, double. Yeah, nice, ambidextrous. So when I talk about that as the ability to do it on both sides, I know there's probably a better word that can be used when it talks about being proficient at both sides. I know it's being ambidextrous is specific to the hands, right? So I am curious about that little aspect. That's interesting, right? Just a little side note, shower thought. So we go out. So notice his arms were a little bit more curved on the first one. Out. And then we expand them up. So the range is now elevated for this section here. Nice little kick. So we could kick to the inside, outside. We end up crossing. And we're hitting this bass, this pulse space through movement. It's really nice. Super fun. And we take our arm out. We isolate it. It's a subtle fixed point, taking our hand out to the chest. And then we bring it to the inside. We grab. And then we go slide. Take it to the world. We go out, drop down. Nice little high note. And I love from here. Of course, they cut it. They didn't just pull these out from nowhere. These are all lit up now. You know, they did have these the whole time. I'm curious, could they pull this off in a one take? I would be so delighted to see that happen. Most likely concerts would be where you would see that. Maybe the composition would be modified to allow that opportunity for dancers to go and get that taken care of. But all this is really cool. I love the knees on this, 1 and 2 and 3. So they're double timing the knees, shifting the weight on them to provide a little bit more upper body fluidity on that. I like how we hit it. Boom, strike down. Then we take our arms down, and we end up doing a little, I'm not going to say full like whacking overhead or anything, but we are rotating with the wrist to allow that to have that sound justified. So that's really nice. The swings 1, 2, and 3, and then we have a nice lingering clash of our sticks, which is really cool. And we end up hitting Notice that as we're doing that on the side, it is catering to the side where our drum is. Now, the name of this drum. Okay, subtle comment diving. So the drum that he's picked that's down on the side is typically used in northern China. You can always fact check this. I got this from the comments over on the music video. So I'm gonna, what's funny is I will trust that before Google, because people know. I feel like we could trust some people a little bit more, you know? But they were saying that the drum that he uses is used in festivals and performances in northern China. Makes sense. But also, I would also like to say that I did read this at one point, but I didn't clock it until I read it again, where the image or the name of the track is in reference to head of a dragon, body of a snake. The dragon head does correlate similarly to lit, right? We can correlate it because we have a music video visual. And then the body of a snake, we are seeing snake imagery. He's not saying snake. Like, I'm not clocking the actual English word for it, which is fine. And I don't know Chinese enough to be able to cite it there. But I'm telling you, the actual choreography is doing a very good job of showing snake through speed changes and waving. And through snaking, there's a technique to that. So I would like to commend Huang Xiao for that. Goodness. So fun. I like the swings on this. It's fun. And I like how we're taking our, like, doing a little ball change on this. Now, is he going to go more street dance in the choices and sequences, or is he going more cultural? That I couldn't tell you. Couldn't go that deep. But a lot of these you do see in street dance. So this little ball change sequence, I've seen it done as a baracho in-house, which means for drunken man, right? So it's very interesting. The cross, they go hit, boom, boom. I like the interruption happening with the flow on that is really cool. Take the arms around, nice little heel tap on this is fun, and then we swing it through. I like the kick on that as well. Then we take our leg, we tap it, we rotate all the way around. I really like that, having everybody's arms up, they drop down. I love the clock out of the lighting change there, which is cool. And I really love the fact that the LEDs match those sticks. It's super cool. It's subtle. Then we have it more isolated in energy to the shoulders, which is really nice. And then we're weight shifting back, switching between our legs on that. We go down, and then they go tap. His inside circle is going the opposite of him. It shows a natural separation between the feature, which is lay, and everybody else. That's really cool. I like the framing of that. Then they have our arms parallel, or the sticks parallel. I appreciate that intention, because sometimes we neglect what our prop is looking like, especially if it's highlighted like that. It's similar to wearing metallic gloves. Your arms are going to be super highlighted to where we're only going to want to see what's going down with it, right? It's a focal point, whether you want it to be or not. And so I like the intention of having it parallel. It makes it feel thought out and thorough in the practice. They take their arms, they separate. I like how he hops I like his jump on that. Nice and intense. They take their arms out, and then they drop it from the front to the back, and they end up going to the floor. I love the glitch to help match that sound in the music. And then he goes, he throws, and he grabs. If he dropped the stick, they would have to do the takeover, I bet you. Because this isn't meant to be, like, humorous. I think they'd get away with it if it was a more humorous concept, but it's not. So if he dropped that stick, he would have had to do this again. This little section, at least. I love that we take our energy up. I love the arms. And then we end up dropping it down. Boom. And then we toss that hat into the camera. Really fun. So in a nutshell, I enjoyed this. I really do like Lay's cultural music videos because they're so hybrid, and I like the intention of his choices. And I really like the thoroughness. It really feels like he's being He really wants to bring China to the world. Like, his statement rings true through his visuals. His actions speak louder than his words, but it justifies the words. And that, as an individual from America who is very much not Asian, I can appreciate and really value and respect this intention. And it makes me continue to look forward to what Lay brings to the table as a soloist. It's just been wonderful. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.